you doing?
I'm doing good. Okay.
Please.
Okay.
How was your weekend?
Not eventful or anything. I just pretty much stayed home. Yeah.
Isn't it a nice day today?
Yeah, it is. It's
You able to go out or anything like that today?
just to come here.
Just come here. How do you feel about this process?
I'm hoping it'll help this time.
You have hope, okay.
I'm having hope.
Do you feel comfortable talking about what you've been going through the past few weeks?
I feel, yeah, I can talk. Yeah.
Okay. Well, today we're going to be discussing what's called validity testing. And if you've never, you've heard of validity or valid, is that argument valid?
Mm-hmm.
It usually means, is it true? Is there fact behind it, or is there basic truth to it? And what validity testing does is, when we're growing up, we're raised in a way and we hear these phrases and we hear these words by our parents or relatives or friends, and they tend to shape what we think, what we believe, and they become like false beliefs or negative schemas, which build in our minds and which become a force to shape how our worldview about ourselves and other people. So, when a woman or a mother tells her child, "You're no good, you'll grow up like your father," well, that's, putting a negative schema, building a schema in that child, and he may believe that, take it to heart, and as he grows older, this will shape how he thinks and how he feels until someone confronts him. Now, one of the things about cognitive therapy, which we do here, is it's confrontational. And I want to let you know that, again, we discussed that at the first session, but it can be confrontational, but not in a heavy way, not in a hard way. No one wants their beliefs challenged when they're very deeply held beliefs, but if they're negative and if they're hurting you, then we should start to challenge them. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
What would your thought be on that?
If there's a way to change the paths that I've been put on, maybe things will be better.
Right. And some things that we believe, we just don't realize the damage they may be doing, as far as how we hold on to them and how they shape what we do and how we behave. So that is what cognitive therapy does. We want to know, in this valid testing, these thoughts and beliefs that you may have, do they match up with reality? Do they match up with facts? And are they positive? Are they healthy for you? And so we want to go ahead and do that. Now, on the last session, I gave you a homework assignment, which is common for cognitive therapy. Is I asked you, to go home and think about a phrase or a word or several words of what you feel like, a word that kind of sums up your life. Descriptive, something you've heard or something that you just feel about yourself, and something that you say, "This is me." And did you do that?
I did, and something I remember growing up, and my mom would say, "I'm just like her, I'm a plain Jane."
Okay. And you feel that is accurate, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I was always like the wallflower, nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense. I would never be voted most popular because I was just the one in the crowd.
So from the earliest time that you can remember as a child, your mom would call you Plain Jane?
Yes.
And did you want to dress up in, like a princess or anything like that as a child?
I was one that would play in the dirt. I never really cared about the frilly dresses. Like in high school, I would wear the blue jeans and Converse and big t-shirts, everything to hide me.
To hide you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can I see that? This is Plain Jane. Okay. Well, when you think about where you are now, and that you kind of, if I'm incorrect, please correct me, that you're thinking and going about as if you are that Plain Jane.
Oh yeah.
And when I think of plain, I think of, lacks excitement. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
And lacks spontaneity.
Mhm.
Okay. So we want to start working on this and looking at this. And what I would suggest is, I don't want to say do something spontaneous this week, because sometimes people do things spontaneous and it's not necessarily the best decisions, but I do want you to think about doing something exciting, out of the ordinary, something safe, but going out there and thinking about, okay, how are you reacting to this environment that you're at? Do you feel comfortable? If you do not feel comfortable, why? And I would also like to give you a homework assignment for this week. Besides that, in correlation with that as well, is to write down any of your thoughts or your feelings when you're feeling particularly down or blue. I understand that from last session that you isolate yourself usually when you come home from work, that you're not really speaking to your parents or really interacting with anyone aside from what you have to do at work. And so when you're feeling, especially down or low, or just have the inkling to want to write down, I would like you to use this journal and to write down what you are thinking about as you're feeling particularly low. And from that, I want to go over with you what you've written and see what negative schemas you may have, these negative thoughts that you have about yourself. Because when we've been grown up to be the person that we've become, changes, it can be difficult or can be challenging. But if we start identifying what negative thoughts or beliefs that you have and replacing them, then you will see easier flow to your life, more joy, more peace, and we want to work towards that, just one by one. So today you've given me this word that you feel sums up your life, Plain Jane, and we're going to continue to work on that for next week. But for this week's homework, I would like you to do that, to write down what you're thinking as you feel particularly low, or if you just feel like writing, so we get a sense of what may be going on as far as what schemas, negative schemas, have been in your thought process for all this time.
What if I don't think that the thoughts I'm having are negative, but yet it still keeps me isolated?
Well, we'll work on that and see what the thoughts are. There is a saying in the cognitive therapy realm that we cannot have a feeling until we first have a thought. If you're feeling down, then odds are you're thinking down. You're thinking low of yourself or low of your situation, but we want to see if we can turn that around. See what the reality of it is. Do things have to be as negative as what we feel like?
Okay.
Okay? So here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we will see you here next week at 3 o'clock. And I want to remind you, for the purpose of this project, that you have a psychiatric evaluation for medication management only. And they will be calling you probably within a day or so.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. See you next week.
All right.